Hello, friendos and randos. It is coming to the end of 2024. I'm filming this the day after my 3 on 3 result at the Singapore Wave 2 Championships. If you've been following me on Twitter, you know I went 5 and 3 on day 1, the 1v1, and then 0-2 on the second day for 3v3. I just wanted to, I guess, talk a little bit about. I just wanted to talk a little bit about how I guess I've been feeling recently, um, about the One Piece card game, and about competing in general. And I don't know if anyone can relate to this. And I mean, I hope some of you do, and at the same time, I hope some of you don't because I think it just feels pretty bad. But I guess how I've been feeling recently is just very disappointed in my own capabilities and such. I set out to do a couple of things this year. Top a championship, make it to the Singapore finals, and then the Asia finals, and hopefully qualify for Worlds. And I think those are very lofty ambitions for someone of my caliber. But coming off of last year and Bandai Cup Fest in Indonesia, where I made my first top, I think it was something that I felt was within reach, and this year kind of proved to me that it wasn't. And I think I'm not someone that is new to failure as a concept or new to failure in general. It's something that I've kind of struggled with in general for a lot of 2024, not just in One Piece, but I think in my life in general as well. And I think it's something that I've been struggling with recently for One Piece in particular. I haven't told many of my friends this, but I think I get very emotional at times when it comes to how competitive I am and how much I care about winning, and I think it means a lot to me. For example, during the 3 on 3 where we made top 8 and then we ended up losing in the top cut and then not qualifying for the Singapore regional finals and also not qualifying for any prizing. I was really frustrated, and I felt like because it was 3 on 3, I felt like I let my team down, and I was so upset that I cried. And I think later on during the Indonesian Bandai Card Game Festival, when I was top 16, I also was really frustrated and I cried because I wanted to go further. And I felt like I was on a roll that day, and I felt like I couldn't meet my own expectations. And I think this year I've been giving myself a lot of different excuses for why I haven't been able to make that top all the way up till today. And it was always going to be this is my season, this is my wave, but it never came. And that's been frustrating in its own right. I think I haven't cried about it yet. I think in March, when I went to Indonesia for the Wave 1 Championship, and I was one win short of making the top cut again. And then again later this year when I was doing the flagship EX, and I was X1 and I made 9th place and didn't get the serial Ace. And earlier in the year at the Grand Asia Open and at the 3 on 3 and at the 1-on-1 CS, where I was trying to play the best deck in format and I just kept getting rolled in the mirror. I think all of those things really add up to not having a lot of confidence in the end as a player and not really feeling like enough. And I think this is also coming from a position of like having found that little bit of success, having been winning those flagships last year and not really having that same success this year, and trying to figure out what the cause behind that is. And I guess that's where this kind of little mini rant, this kind of just heart to heart talk with you guys is coming from. And I know like I don't think any of you are watching me for my emotional commentary or how I feel about being a card game YouTuber and being a card game player in general, but I just wanted to reach out. And I mean, this is more for me than for you guys, but I just wanted to talk about it and let people know that you are allowed to feel things. And I think I'm trying to remind myself that I'm allowed to feel things. And I'm trying to recognize that it's okay to fail. It's okay to not meet your expectations. And it's okay for things to not go the way you want. And what's important is I understand what I'm going to do next. And I think what that is going to be to reflect on all of the different reasons that I haven't met my marks in terms of like what I want to achieve, and to also reflect on what I have done well and where I deserve praise. And I haven't like gone and scrounged through all of my different achievements for the year, but I think one of the things that I'm really proud of is this channel and how much it's grown since I started it in June last year. I really did it for fun because I just thought it would be cool to make some content around the game, since I spent so much time on it, since I'm really interested in it. And when I first got into the game, it was also just because I just really like One Piece, and it was my first card game that I've treated seriously since like Yu-Gi-Oh in primary school. And I've always been a competitive person, like even as a child. And I was giving this analogy to a friend. I was letting him know it's like, for me, OP 02 and 03 was kind of like being the best kid at soccer on the playground or at basketball. And then right now I'm kind of like the kid that realizes that however good I am at my playground soccer, I'm never going to be Ronaldo or LeBron or anyone like that. And I think that the realization is hitting hard. I think everyone kind of has that delusion of of grandeur, or I guess ambition is also another way to phrase it. And I think it was unreasonable to expect so much when I think there are people that are putting in much more work and much more time into the game, and therefore receiving much better results. And it's something that I am jealous of, but it's something that I recognize I can change. And to do so, I need to put the time into it, and I need to make sure that I put the right build the right community for it as well. I think one of my greatest gains this year was starting Grand Archive, because I think it not only taught me things about, of course, playing another card game, but I think it also taught me things where One Piece is lacking, not just as a game itself, but also in terms of where I am and how my One Piece game is lacking. In Grand Archive, my community around me are probably the top 10 players in my country, and because of that, I think that has propelled me very quickly to become like top 20 players in the country. And I'm not saying this as like a conceited thing. When it comes to like statistics, like in terms of my elo, I am top 20 in the country. And I think similarly when it comes to Singaporean players, the big names you think of, SFK, people like that, they are in that position because they have the time invested, and they also have the really strong community that they work with in order to keep getting better at the game. And I think the phrase "a rising wave, rising tide lifts all ships" is really true in that case. And I understand now that that is another product and another reason for success, and it's something that I'm really trying to understand a little bit better, as some of the things to consider moving forward in terms of like how to really get better, where to invest my time and things like that. I think what the losses this weekend and this wave, this season in general, has taught me is that there's going to be a million reasons why you don't make it to the top, and there's going to be a million reasons why you fail, or you fall short, or you don't meet the things that you expect of yourself, but what really matters is what are you going to change. And for me, I think, of course, there's always the option to just accept that you're going to be mediocre, that you're not going to be the best, and that whatever you do, you may not succeed. But I think what I want at the end of the day is still to meet everyone at Worlds, having qualified, earning my right there. And it's something that I want very, very badly. And I think I need to stop being all talk about it and trying to really make it a reality. And this year I will be trying hard to do that. And I hope you guys will continue to support me in my journey for that. I will still be making content. I'll still be working on other card games and stuff as well. I think, of course, Grand Archive is really fun to me. I just started Cookie Run Bravers, which is really fun as well. But I want to take One Piece seriously. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy winning. I really enjoy competing. And I think it's something that I will definitely be focusing on. People talk a lot about how losing just makes you stronger or whatever, and I don't necessarily think that's true, but I do think that it makes you more motivated, and I'm feeling pretty motivated now. I will be taking like a bit of time off in the off season between now and the next big event, but until then, when the time comes, I think I'll be ready to try my hardest again and to really do my best next season. I'm gonna set more realistic goals. I just want to top again. All transparency, I haven't topped anything since last November, and I think that's really disappointing for me this year, and I would like to change that next year. So first things first is one top at a major tournament, and then we'll see how things go from there. That being said, I think I just wanted to ramble on a little bit about, I guess, my feelings. I wanted to talk about the disappointment that also comes, the highs, but also the lows of being a competitive card gamer, being a competitive person. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about how, I mean, as much as this kind of competitive masculinity, toxicity kind of takes root in all of us a little bit, I think it's important to recognize and also embrace it and understand that it's part of us, and how do we move forward with it as a boon instead of a bane? How do I try to use it to my own good? And I'm gonna try and figure it out, and I hope you guys will continue to support me while I do. If there's one thing that I want to be thankful for in 2024, is that I've been able to meet a ton of really, really awesome people this year. Here's a picture of me and Real Zero in Japan in March with a signed Usopp card that I signed for him. This is my first ever signed card, and it was really exciting for me. And I also was able to meet Aikai Lakai in person in Japan as well. And we didn't really interact that much before this, and this was even before he started his huge YouTube channel now. So it was just kind of like a, hey, I've seen you on Twitter and you live in Japan, right? So why don't we hang out? And yeah, it just happened. And of course, to all my like followers, saying fans feels very conceited. To everyone who watches my content, follows me on Twitter or anything of the sort, if you know who I am, if you've said hi to me, thank you so much for watching me. Thank you for supporting me so far. I won't lie to you and say that YouTube pays well, but it is like a little bit extra and it does help. And I think it's nice to get that little bit back, and I hope that I've been able to help you either by like just making you entertained, or by educating you, or by just giving you weird ideas, and I guess by translating the Japanese cards sometimes too. And for whatever reason you decided to follow me in the end, I really appreciate you, and thank you for the support. It really means a lot to me. I'm gonna try not to get too sappy about it, and let's head into 2025 with a good mindset, motivated and ready to be better than where we are now, because there's no need to compare yourself to everyone else. I think what's most important is to make sure that the us tomorrow is better than the us today, and that's what I'm going to be heading towards as well. If you've watched this far, thank you so much, friendos and randos. I appreciate you so much. Have a happy new year, and I will see you guys again next year. Peace out.